Well, hello. I'm Tamara and welcome to my YouTube channel. Are you an ENFJ? How trusting are you? Are you super open to people, or is there always a layer of skepticism lingering inside you? Do you ignore your gut feeling? Do you talk yourself out of feeling what you really feel? Have you ever had someone read you in a way that you don't want to be read, and they're shockingly correct? It kind of feels awful, doesn't it? It's natural for an ENFJ to keep their intuition hidden. People often don't know how aware we are of certain things at all. It's that introverted intuition working. Sometimes I want them to know so they can stop doing what they're doing, because sometimes people can look silly or they're unwittingly offending you because you know what they're doing, but they think you're not keen enough to know. It's so aggravating. But we don't like conflict, ENFJs. So we keep a lot to ourselves, keep things professional or tactful, even though we can see negative intentions peeling off of someone, like jealousy, envy, or insecurities. As an ENFJ, do you trust your gut? Do you ignore what you're feeling? I had a service guy over the other day, and when I spoke to him on the phone, I literally said after hanging up, I shouldn't let you come over. I should call someone else. But in the moment, I had very little time and I felt desperate for the service. I should have trusted my gut, but I chose to ignore it, like, you're just being paranoid, Tamara. The guy rolled up in an unmarked car, and he immediately said he could not do what he promised he could do over the phone. He lied. He could do one part of the service, but not the part I really wanted done. He flat out lied, and I knew something was off. I knew something was not going to be right, even though he answered all my questions over the phone. There was a small piece of intonation that I subconsciously picked up on. I don't even know how to explain it or describe it, but I knew. I recently had someone who I really trusted helping me with something, and then all of a sudden, something started to go wrong. It was like, I don't know, I knew something was not right. Like it wasn't typical of the person's behavior. What I asked her to do wasn't getting done, and it just was weird. And before I knew it, I started putting lots of pieces to the puzzle together. I noticed another person doing some things, and what happened was someone totally interfered, but she didn't know how to handle it. So, because this person that was interfering is a monster at times, but I think the two of them have no idea that I figured out the whole thing as it was going on. So while it was happening, I noticed some intuitive clues, and I knew how the whole scenario was going to end before I even got close to the conclusion of the transaction. I tried to save it midway. I even tried pretending not to notice that I knew there was a problem, because I knew the people didn't want me to know. And I was right. And I was not happy with how things ended, but I knew it was going to happen that way. It's so hard to explain. I tried to stop it from happening. Things are okay now, but I ended up having to do a lot of damage control in order to continue to have a positive interactions with these people. I knew that one person was being negatively influenced by another and didn't know what to do. So what's crazy is I think they probably still think that I'm in the dark and that I have no clue, because in the end, everything worked out okay. But I knew every crazy thing that was going on. But I kind of let it be their little weird secret. But I also had to save a friendship in the middle of it, because it's just a long story. But sometimes people can think that you're not aware of what's going on as an ENFJ. Your gut feeling is telling you, hello, something is wrong, something is happening here, and I could have ignored it, but I tried, but it was like, oh my gosh, I have to step in and I gotta save this before it totally goes off the tracks. So if I didn't have that introverted intuition, I think the whole project would have been destroyed. But I was able to save it, but I had to also play dumb. So it's just a weird thing about ENFJ's introverted intuition. It's so hidden and so secretive, kind of, but it definitely gives you an advantage. And there again, you should trust your gut, even if it's wrong or even if it doesn't make sense. You still have to kind of like, okay, let me jump ahead of this thing. So, has my intuition been wrong before? Absolutely. Have I had people to try to save face and make me believe something different than what my intuition was telling me? And did I give them the benefit of the doubt and question my original thinking? Yes. Have I ignored my intuition because I wouldn't be able to explain what I was feeling? Yes, and I hate that because it usually turns into a problem. There was a situation where I knew, I was like, my gut is telling me don't take this job. Don't take it, don't take it, don't take it. But it made no sense to anyone. So it's like, okay, how do you explain to someone what your intuition is telling you when the intuition is not logical? It doesn't make sense. People told me, you should try it. You're never going to know unless you try it. What if you end up loving it? It was probably the worst situation that I've ever experienced in my life. But it was kind of like, how do I get out of the situation? Because it looked like a picture perfect, beautiful, amazing situation where I was very fortunate to get the position, but I went against my intuition. So sometimes you have to trust your intuition. And, how do you tell someone an apple isn't an apple when they're telling you, but it's an apple, and you're like, it's not an apple. You'd have a hard time doing that, wouldn't you? So it's the same thing with intuition. Sometimes you shouldn't do something, but you go ahead and do it anyway because the people around you would think you were crazy, and yet you're picking up signs that something isn't going to go right. It's frustrating and it's daunting. But generally, ENFJ's intuition is sharp and sophisticated and delves deep into the psyche. It's a knowing, it's an accuracy. It knows people. It knows their motives, their shortcomings, their negative and positive intentions. ENFJs, you get people. You are highly attuned to what isn't seen. It's a special gift that you should never ignore. So trust your gut, even if it's wrong. Even if you don't get the chance to prove that it's wrong or right. I think sometimes we want evidence ourselves and we want to play things out. So for example, if I had never taken that job, then I might live with regret. Like, I should have tried that job. What if it was amazing? I'll never know. That's the tricky part about trusting your gut. But then when you don't trust it, then you can also buy into years of misery and also change the trajectory of your life. So sometimes we have to trust that gut feeling, even if it's wrong. Your intuition is generally on point. So my advice, trust your gut. Even if it happens to be wrong, it's better to be safe than sorry later. Like with that service guy, I should not have moved forward and I should have canceled with him, even if he got angry. So what? In that case, I would have never had proof that he was lying, but it's a chance I should have taken. So ENFJs, always trust your gut. Your NI is very strong. Sometimes you might be wrong, but I would say if there's a 50-50 guess, go with your gut. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want other people to understand your intuition better, then share this video with them, like it, subscribe to my channel, check out my friendship pins. If you like one, then go to the link below. And it's my way of extending my friendship to you guys. So thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye people.